What's up, y'all? Came out here to check some cornfields on some public, and there's a couple turkeys down there. I was hoping they had cut the corn, but it looks like so far everything's standing. The Onyx Hunt app has a crop layer that shows what was planted last year, so if you assume they are rotating crops every year, which they usually do, you can check the map and see what was growing last year. See, for example, here the yellow was corn last year and the brown was beans. Early season, if they cut the corn before acorns are dropping really good. I've had some really good hunts in the past, hunting early season over fresh cut cornfields. The deer will feed on the corn heavily, the leftover corn on the ground. I have noticed when they cut the corn later, like into mid-October, and all the acorns have been dropping and deer are shifted over to acorns, then I don't see near as much activity on the cornfields. So if they don't cut this soon, it's not going to be that much of a hot spot. So we're probably not going to hunt here. We're going to ride around a little bit more, find us a spot to hunt this afternoon. Alright, we're checking the spot. It's got a lot of fields that were in beans last year, so it should be corn, but I'm not seeing any sign that there were tractors or anything back here. And it's all in beans again. They were planted late, I can tell, because they're all still very green. So, just a reminder that a map is only a starting point. You still have to scout in person to really figure out what's going on, what acorns are dropping, where the deer sign is, what crops were planted, because sometimes they don't rotate, and they did not rotate this field because it was in beans last year too. They look really good. There is a ton of browse right here at the start of this field by the truck. Deer have been absolutely wearing them out. I think this is one of those things where I could just pick a spot and risk it with the wind, because they could come from the woods or they could be bedded on these fence rows between fields. It's real thick. Alright, I got my stuff. I'm going to be hunting off the ground this afternoon. Got a new toy I've been wanting to try out on a deer. It's this pistol crossbow. I call it the pocket crossbow, but it's a Ballista Bat Reverse with the reverse limbs. Not sure how fast it shoots with the hunting bolts, but with the target bolts it's up to like 420 feet a second, so it's a pretty quick little, tiny little crossbow. It's pretty cool. I've been itching to shoot a deer with it and see how it performs on an actual deer. I do know they've killed hogs with them, and I've shot the target quite a bit, got it sighted in, and those bolts hit the target really hard. So the bolts are only about a foot long, and these have got a stainless steel 120 grain insert and 125 grain swacker. This is the all stainless steel swacker. It only has a 1 3/4 cutting diameter, so it's a little bit smaller and heavier than your typical mechanical broadhead. So that should help on penetration. I've actually killed a bunch of deer with these in the past. So because of it being such a small crossbow with small bolts, I'm limiting shots to 20 yards. It's not a long range weapon at all, but I'm used to setting up for 20-yard and closer shots. That's kind of how I like to bow hunt anyways. Pretty much all of my shots with a compound are 20 yards and closer. So that is not a big deal for me. I'm more just curious to see how this thing actually takes a deer down, because I know it'll kill a deer. So, to cock it, just pull it back till it clicks. Load your bolt. Make sure it's seated all the way in. Turn the red dot. Red dot works. Alright, so it's going to be 20 yard or closer. I don't know if we're going to get a shot tonight, but you never know. We're right in the corner of the field where deer might come right through here. Appreciate it, you too. I'll shoot straight. Alright, y'all. Got Ryan dropped me off here. him and Kelsey are gonna go hunt other spots. I've hunted here a couple times before. I actually got a trail camera down the ridge. A lot of deer, a lot of does. Oh, look at this. Chinkapin oak's starting to drop. It's early, but they're starting. It's one of deer's favorite right there. There's a bunch of them in here, though, is the problem. It's not just one. But I didn't want to. I wanted a good broadside shot. I could have shot, Alright, we're gonna give it another shot with the pocket crossbow. Same spot I used it last time, except I'm gonna climb a tree this time because there's really not good cover to sit on the ground, and I got busted last time, so we'll see how we do this morning. Walking in the water in the log jam. I don't know what it's doing. Just got a glimpse of it. Well, the whole herd was bedding down up the hill from me, and this big truck comes by up on top of the hill. Some kind of big truck, And they all got up and ran off back the way they came. There's a deer in the log jam again. Well, it is noon, and these deer win this round. I got to do a little trail camera work, and then I'll find a spot to hunt this afternoon, so I'll catch y'all soon. That's the deer that was walking around on the woods. She's bleeding from the mouth. I don't know what's wrong with her. There's another deer back behind her. She was bedded right there. She stood up right before I got my camera. Here she's walking. I don't know what's wrong with her. She's walking around fine, but she also was walking in the water and she's bleeding from the mouth. She's a good sized doe. What's she doing? Alright, I'm going to check a couple cameras, see if I can find some scrapes to put them on, and take the pocket crossbow with me just in case we see something. I didn't click my safety all the way off. I thought it clicked, but it wasn't. I went to pull the trigger and nothing happened. You gotta be kidding me. About had one. Snuck up on a whole herd. There's the boat. It was like 4 or 5 does. Dadgummit. Let's go hunt another spot. I got a place in mind. I think I can get me one. Alright, I'm going into a spot that I killed a deer or two in last year. Actually, my buddy Kelch, he killed one opening day in here. Said there were a ton of deer. All these trees around me are worthless when it comes to food. Cedars and sweet gum and other worthless trees. But I go back in about 150 yards or so, there's a couple of big red oaks. I'm attempting to hide behind this tree so the deer don't see me getting my stuff ready, and I'm gonna climb up and hunt this elm tree right here. So I will see y'all up there. You probably can see the browse line behind me. There's definitely a few too many deer in here. I managed to kill one in here last year. I could do better than that. this block of woods backs up to a couple of houses. And I gotta find me a good place to sit. I don't know if you could tell how small those deer were. They were both fawns. I think the mama's the one that blew at me 250 times and she walked off. We're gonna sit in this ditch and see if anything else comes by. This ditch is the best cover I got in here. Well, I could have killed one this evening. I didn't want to shoot a fawn. I wanted a grown doe. Would have been an easy 5-yard shot, though. I'll catch y'all soon. Alright, it's another shot with the pocket crossbow. There's either gonna be deer all up in here or it's gonna be a bust, but let's go. The deer have eaten the vegetation out of this patch of woods, so there's limited cover. It's pretty open. But hopefully this blowdown is enough cover for me. Just gotta keep my eyes out and be ready. But we finally got it done. Curious to see if I got a pass through. Nope. Wondering about that. Yeah, definitely wouldn't want to try this on a big deer, but on a doe like this, it's a grown doe, I think. Well, it might be a 1.5 years old. Alright, I got her back to the boat. I never did find the bolt, and there's no exit, so it must have backed out when she ran off. It's a 1.5 years old doe. I would not recommend using this pistol crossbow on a mature buck or really any big bodied northern deer. If you're in the south where the deer are small, it'll take a doe down. But you gotta know its limitations. It's not a full-size crossbow. The bolts are only about 1 foot long, so it did the trick, but I would not shoot it past 20 yards, and I wouldn't shoot it at a really big deer. But it was pretty cool to actually take a deer down with something like that. Now I'm eager to get back in the woods with my compound. I feel a little more confident with it. I've hunted with it for years. So we got that one off the bucket list. Old Ballista Bat Reverse pocket crossbow.